All right, good morning. It is Friday morning. Thank God it's Friday. Christmas is rapidly approaching. And yes, this is very similar to a video that Mr. Steve Shaw just put up. The only reason I've put this up is I just watched his video and it struck me as kind of amazing, to me, that the exact way that he went about developing his bench, as he described it and displayed it on paper, similar to this, was nearly identical to the way that I did it. So I thought that was pretty amazing because nobody ever showed it to me. Nobody explained that to me. And from what I gather, what he was saying, that's just what he did. That's how he did. Same deal. That's just. So again, it's one of these cases that I've tried to point out before where people who are successful in an area, they just tend to gravitate and find their way to similar approaches and methods because it's what works. I'm not saying it's the only thing that works. I'm not saying it's the smartest way to go about things. I'm just saying the similarity was striking to me. So there's a huge difference in the way that I did it, and for a good reason, because the primary concern of my goals, my primary target has always been muscle mass. So I understood, even as a bodybuilder, that strength played into how much muscle mass I'm going to build. As far as my work sets for hypertrophy purposes, for hypertrophy, my working sets for hypertrophy, which I consider to be, 6 to 8 is going to be a growth area. But for me, the true hypertrophy rep ranges in my working sets were higher. They would have been 8 to 12. 8 to 12. More comfortably if I can get at least 10. 10 to 12, maybe even to 15. So it's kind of loose, I guess. I'm going to say that I always like a little higher reps, maybe as much as 15. Once I get to 15, if I'm banging that out pretty easily, then it's time to put more weight on. Anyway, that the amount of weight with which I could perform these hypertrophy sets was what was going to deliver the most hypertrophy for me. So weight mattered in that regard. So the stronger that I could get, one rep max-wise, it's going to translate down. It's going to trickle down into my working sets, how much weight I can handle. So that was my concern with strength. So this is kind of how I went about it. These numbers may not be exact, these reps and things, because it's been a few years, right? I had this slap tear, 4 years ago now, something like that. And that has completely altered the way that I have had to train. But if not for that, I'd probably still be doing this, which I was doing, since I moved into Pennsylvania. It's just that the slap tear derailed me. Okay, so first I would start out with the bar. And I don't know if you can see this or not. If you can't, I apologize. It's early in the morning. Give me credit for at least trying to get a video out before I go to work. I think that's ambitious. We don't even know if we'll get there yet. This may never even see the light of day. Anyway, I would do the bar. First set for like 30 reps. Yeah, I could sit there all day. It was just to warm my joints up because even before I was really injured, I knew that it was important to warm everything up. Then I would go to 135 for like 20. Now, these sets didn't really count for anything really. They didn't really challenge me in any way, shape, or form. It's just to get some blood, a little bit of blood into the joints, warm the joints up. So my first actual set would be like 2.25, and I would do that 15, 20 times. And then I would rest. Now rest, I would take a very, I would take pretty long rest periods, I guess, between sets training this way. Rest periods much longer than what I do now. Maybe as much as, it would be minutes. Like I might rest 3 minutes, maybe even 4 minutes between sets once I get heavy. Then I go do the 225, 15 to 20 reps. Now that wasn't all out the most reps I could do. This is the thing you got to understand. You got to gauge this back or dial this up or dial this back into ratios that are more comfortable for you, depending on what your 1 rep max presumed or what you estimate your 1 rep max to be. Okay, so for me, 225, 15, 20 reps really wasn't that much, but it was enough to get me good and warm. Then I would go 275 maybe. 275 was something optional. I didn't do all the time. It depended if I felt like I was warming up properly, I felt good, comfortable, everything felt good, strong, and solid, then I may not do that. I may just jump right to 315 from 225. But if I thought I needed that extra warm up or whatever, I would go 275 for like 6 or 8 reps. Okay? Then I'll go 315, 4 to 5 reps. Now here's where the magic happens, okay? And typically, in considering this in this period of time, this snapshot, which wouldn't have been that long ago, this would have been just prior to my slap tear, basically. This 315 set here, this is my working rep range for hypertrophy is with this weight. So typically, I might only get, I don't know, 12 to 15 reps with 315. 12 to 15 good, solid, good reps. You know, full range of motion, touch, you know, hit the chest all the way up with 315, maybe 12 to 15 reps, okay? Remember that. That's what's important, and that is why all of this other shit happens, because of the effect this will have on this 315 when I come back to it. Watch. So I'll do 315, 4 to 5 reps. Then I go 365 only once. Okay, then I go 405 once. Then I may go 425 once. Now, if I'm feeling really strong and that was like, I lifted that with authority, no problem, I may slip a 2.5 and 2.5 on each side. Something like that. I may even go a little bit heavier. I might not. Well, once I've done that 425 once, I rest. And after that rest, I drop all the way back down to 315 because these are my hypertrophy work sets. This weight. So now when I drop all the way back down to 315, rather than typically on the way up, I would only be able to get this like 12 to 15 reps. Shit, I might get 17 to 20 reps out of that bastard, that first set afterwards. And if you try something similar along these ways, this approach, you'll experience the same thing. I'm not saying with 315, but wherever you're at, whatever your working rep set is, the central nervous system responds to this, to overloading like this on your way up. And then, you know, just with singles, don't fatigue yourself that far. Then when you drop all the way back down to your working set, you're going to get more reps. You're going to get more reps, be capable of getting more reps than you typically could. So is that going to make you bigger? Fuck yeah, it's going to make you bigger. Doing it this way, I'm able to get more reps. Then I can do 3 solid work sets with this and push that with more authority and push that with more reps than I would have gotten had I just conventionally warmed up, went to my 315 and did my work. Yeah, it works all the time. It works every time. I've showed it to people in practice and they find it amazing. I don't think it's amazing, but yeah, it's a central nervous system response. So just by doing this kind of approach, I did end up building up a really good bench. Back in the day, I had a hell of a bench. But this is where I would have been like just prior to the slap tear, 4 or 5 years ago. But that's my hypertrophy training weight right there, 315 at the time, at this snapshot. Normally I could only get 12 or 15 reps with this. If I went and progressed this way and overloaded all the way up to 425 with a single, or maybe a little bit more, maybe not, then when I dropped all the way back down to 315, I rep the shit out of that. And then once I've done my 3 working sets with this, then I'll drop all the way down to 225. 1 set, max reps, then no rest, then maybe even go 135. Max reps. Doesn't matter if it's 60 reps or if it's 20 reps. Completely and thoroughly trash the chest. Then when that's done, my accessory work or anything that comes thereafter, machines, dumbbells, whatever, on my chest day, doesn't matter what I do. That's why I say that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Do whatever the hell you want to do. Doesn't matter. This matters. That you do something afterwards, continue to push that blood, that matters, because what's the blood full of? The blood's full of nutrients, the blood's full of oxygen. The blood is going to get the toxins out of the muscle and fresh oxygen into the muscle and nutrition to the muscle. So you're doing all kind of good shit like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care who says what to you. I don't care what they claim to know. I'm telling you from real life, real world, how it happens. Anything that enhances your ability to get a bigger pump, a bigger pump, a bigger pump, over a period of time, small steps to the moon, that will make you bigger. It works. All right, that's it. You guys have an awesome day. I'm getting ready to go to work, busier than hell, and it's raining, but at least it's Friday.